Credit One Charleston Open returns on March 30th for another exciting year. I talk one-on-one with tournament director Bob Moran for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Bob Moran, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Quintin, so good to be here with you.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Needless to say, you're the president of Charleston Tennis LLC and the tournament director of the Credit One Charleston Open, which will take place on Daniel Island this year, March 30th through April 7th. So tell me, Bob, what's new, what's now with the Credit One Charleston Open?
You know, we just continue to grow, Quintin, our, what we offer our fans, what we're doing for the players, what we do for our partners. We just look to improve every year. It's great to see our ticket sales are doing fantastic. Our sponsors and partners, we've added a few more. We just continue to get better, but we're also always looking at that fan and player experience. How can we get better at what we do and more offerings on site, upgrade. I think a key word that we continue to use is how do we elevate that experience for everyone from start to finish. And that's what we just focus on. As soon as the tournament's over, we focus on the next year. So I think people will see some really cool differences just from structures and events, but they'll get really excited with the tennis, but they'll get even more excited with everything we do outside.
So what structures are you going to change this year?
Sure. So, everyone knows about pickleball, Quintin. Everybody, right? So we will continue to feature pickleball, but what people don't know about is a sport called padel. And padel, believe it or not, there's more padel courts in Spain, Italy, and France than there are tennis courts. Huh. And so it's a really popular sport. It's being built as we speak, but it'll be built this week and finalized. It's a really cool racket sport that people see for the first time here in Charleston. There are no padel courts here in Charleston, so we're excited about that. We've changed up our dining experience. Bringing in some new local favorites, 167 Raw's joining us this year, and then all of our partners at the BMOC Hospitality Collection, which is Sorelli, Charleston Grill, Charleston Place, all of those are participating with us this year. So as you can tell, we're really trying to elevate not just the experience, but the food and beverage experience as well.
And what else would you be offering at the tennis stadium as well?
We have live music every day. Our opening weekend, which we're really proud of, with MUSC as our partner, we'll have 6,000-7,000 people a day, and we have all kinds of interactive opportunities for kids and families. Anything you can possibly think of that kids like to do, we'll have it out there. Of course, we always want to get a racket in their hand, but at the same time, we want to make sure it's a fun experience for families. So live music. We have face painters, jump castles, you name it. We've got it out there. And really exciting. What people don't know, Quintin, so when you look at our qualifying weekend and it's a $10 ticket, it's free for kids. It's amazing that, our cutoff this year for our main draw is like number 78 in the world, right? Everyone playing in the qualies is like number 80 in the world. And if you're 80 in the world, at anything, you're pretty darn good. And so those players who are playing that opening weekend are really fighting for a paycheck and really trying to make that main draw, looking for points. So not only is the experience that we create outside the lines on Family Weekend really exciting, but the quality of tennis is so strong that people really get a great opportunity to see super tennis at a really affordable price.
Two questions for you, Bob. In generalities, what is the quality of tennis right now as you know it?
Oh, I think for tennis, I'll speak to women's tennis. We're still on the men's side, we still have, Novak Djokovic and Nadal, and we have the emergence of Alcaraz. But on the women's side, we have a solid top 20 players, any of which can win any week. And that's kind of proven out. Think about it. We have young Emma Navarro from Charleston here. She won her first WTA event this year, right before Australia, and she's currently 23 in the world. Just a couple days ago, she won an exhibition in Indian Wells in partnership with Ben Shelton called Tiebreak Tens. She is doing really, really well. And I just feel like, I think currently have 11 of the top 20 players in the world. And Emma's out of that group, she's number 12. Right. Any of those players can win. So the balance in women's tennis is as strong as it's ever been.
Mm. Where do you see that balance, fluctuating in the next 5 to 10 years with women's tennis?
I just think we're going to continue to see it grow as far as we are truly the only global sport, Quentin. We are. Players in this field will be from probably 40 different countries. We will broadcast to 175 different countries. Tennis, there's no other sport, professional sport, I would say, that is as global as we are. So from the players, they're coming from all over the globe. Our defending champion, Ons Jabeur, from Tunisia, is by far one of the most popular players. I say players, but also athletes in the world, especially in the Middle East. She is a legend and a hero there. And, so that continues to grow the sport. It really does. And I just see more and more talent coming through the pipelines, especially in U.S. tennis.
And you mentioned Emma Navarro, obviously. She's obviously one to watch. And I know from my understanding, when I just look back at the website, I believe you have almost 40 players who are committed to playing with the Credit One Charleston Open this year.
Yeah, so there's a cutoff. And so we basically, the top 37 players get directly in. And then there's a group of players that will get in via the qualifying. Huh. So that will be determined on Sunday. And then I have 4 wild cards. So I haven't made any decisions on wild cards yet. But we have plenty of asks. So we will add to the field as we get closer. But when it comes to signing up, we probably have 250 players that sign up. But you have to be in the top. Basically, you have to be right now in the top 80 in the world to be playing in this event.
Oh man, that's really amazing. And I know when I visited you over at Daniel Island last year, you talked about obviously the player experience and the fan experience that you just mentioned earlier. And I know you were obviously building a new deck over there and an awning for the player experience. So where are we with that right now?
Oh, it's so good. It is so good. We're really the player experience is awesome. I don't know if you know this, Quintin, but the players have voted us tournament of the year the last 2 years. We're very proud of that. It's something that we strive for. And all that means is when the players come, they enjoy it. We're very professional in the way we treat them, but we also make sure that we add that Charleston feel to everything we do. We make them feel at home. They love our restaurants here. We are constantly making reservations for them downtown. In our connection now with Charleston Place, Sorelli, Charleston Grill, all being under the same umbrella, the same company, we're really able to do some creative partnerships. So when you walk through Charleston Place in, the first week in April, you'll know tennis is around, which is really cool. And that's a true partnership for us. So utilizing our friends down at the Be My Hospitality Collection is really important to us.
And I know obviously you're finalizing partnerships. That is, how many more do you have to go with that?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries. I know. Obviously, you're finalizing partnerships as the festival is coming, as the event is coming closer to you. But how many more people do you need to finalize as far as sponsorships?
No, we're done. We're done. Okay. Right now, our focus is making sure their experience is first class. We're really excited about our partners. We had really, I think, a 98% renewal rate from last year, and then we've added a few new ones this year. And everyone's also broadening their relationship with us, doing more, activating more, and that's what you really, really want from your partners.
Yes, sir. And speaking of which, how much has ticket sales gone up by compared to last year?
Well, last year was a record year for us, and that went up by about 12%, and we're seeing growth of anywhere between, what really determines this for us is that last week, the week of the tournament. But we should hit last year's number before the tournament starts. And then how everybody enjoys, we do a pretty vibrant walk-up sale, which means, if someone comes on Monday, but they see Ons Jabeur and they I want to come back and see her, we do a really good business. So our final number will be determined on how well we do the week of the tournament, but it will be greater than we've ever done in the past. So we're in a really good place.
And as we say right now, Bob, how many packages are available?
Packages, none.
Oh, all gone.
We've sold all of our packages, our week-long, our mini plans. Everything right now that we're selling is all about individual ticket sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And when did the packages sell out?
Oh, about a month ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And I know obviously you have a refurbished stadium there on Daniel Island. So let me ask you, how have the player and fans experience evolved since that refurbishment?
I think the player experience, we built a whole building for them. So we used to have temporary facilities or use our old clubhouse. So we have a new gym, new locker rooms, new dining facilities, new player lounge, new treatment areas. Everything for the players is new. We have a great partner in Volvo. So the players are driving around in Volvos, and they basically come in, drop their key off, and don't worry about it. So we have valet parking, not only for our fans, but we have valet parking for our players. All of those assets, the players really just love that piece. And the player dining experience for them is really important. We have different pop-up events every day for them where a local provider is coming in and doing something fun and different, giving a little bit of Charleston flair, and they loved that last year. So continuing to do that this year.
And how do you hope to offer new events while trying to evolve this player and fan experiences?
Well, this year, we do an event. We do 2 events called Doubles, Bubbles, and Bites with our partners at Moet Chandon, and that's the opportunity for fans to come up, enjoy some really great food, enjoy some great champagne while listening to some of our players talk about doubles play. Both those events sold out really quickly. We added a gala brunch on Sunday final, so we have the gala singers from downtown coming out to celebrate with us, and we're really excited about that event. So we're continuing to look at what can we do to make that experience for fans really, really unique and different. And how do we add a little Charleston flair to that? So as you can see, those are definitely things that we try to do throughout the year to think about getting better.
And let me talk to you about the obvious. We're doing it right now technology-wise. But how do you actually hope to embrace new and emerging technologies to enhance that experience for the guests?
Well, I think what's really important is understanding your guests, right? So we utilize technology to get a better idea of who they are, what they want from us. You should try this, Quintin, since I haven't seen you out here enough, so I'm gonna ask you to do this. So if you go on our website, we have 2 things that I'm really excited about. One's a fan hub, which you go on our website or our app, and you can look at everything that's going on. Anything you want is on our fan hub. The other thing is called a ticket recommender. So if you're a new fan, you just jump into the ticket recommender. You're going to answer a couple key questions about how much of a fan you are, what you like to do, what you're looking to spend. And then at the end of that, we will recommend what tickets we think are right for you. So with that, we're really able to help people with that, with that process and experience with us of, okay, this is who you are, this is what you want. We're going to tell you exactly what you need. That's those 2 things are new and different for us. But every day we're able to really get a good read on who our fans are, and then we'll do a really robust survey at the end. And one of the things that we heard from our fans, they wanted more options on food and beverage. 167 Raw, Sorelli, Charleston Grill, Playa Bowls. I could keep going. All of these things that we answered, right? We heard that you want more options. We're going to give you more options. So knowing and understanding fans is all through technology and understanding where they're coming from. And it absolutely shapes our marketing plan. We know where our fans come from. We know fly markets. We know drive markets. And then how do we tap into that?
So what are the markets that you haven't tapped into yet or that you want to tap into coming up soon?
It's a great question. So it's interesting when we started our partnership with Tennis Channel a few years back, and that means we're broadcast on Tennis Channel first ball to last ball. So we basically own a television network for the week of Credit One Charleston Open. That allows us to storytell. It allows us to really showcase. And so what we saw as a result of that, we really started to see people we've never seen before from different parts of the country. And that's because they watch the broadcast, and we're not only showing tennis here, but if you tune in, we are showcasing Daniel Island, we're showcasing Charleston, we're showcasing all of those things. Like I said, it's a really important part for me to be able to storytell what we do. Right now, when we look at our footprint, we're largely an East Coast, Southeast footprint from middle of Florida up to Washington, D.C., and over as far as Kentucky and Tennessee. That's what we really see strong. So what we really try and do is hey, how do we expand a little bit more? Do we reach out a little bit more in New York? Do we reach out a little bit more further south in Florida? Do we go further west? We talked with the CVB about fly markets and how we can work together to promote those direct flights from different markets we do all of those things, and it's important to continue to grow and get better.
And speaking of which, what are those current trends in the tennis world that you're keeping your eye on right now to enhance the experience at the tennis stadium in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, there's some really interesting questions that are out there. We know this next generation is consuming everything in much shorter pieces, shorter nuggets. Does tennis take too long? Some people think it does. Younger generation will say it absolutely does. Do we look at ways that we can shorten matches? Those are things I'm paying attention to. I don't know if anyone's willing to jump off that bridge yet, but I can honestly say those are conversations we're having to make not only the in-person experience better, but also the viewing from TV experience better. I am watching. I went through a program with Apple Vision Pro. It's awesome. And we were supposed to do a test this year in Charleston, but the timing just didn't work out. But the experience of watching a live event through Apple's new goggles is game changing. And so those are the things that we're watching. How are people consuming it? How do people feel about the length of the stay there with us? They're on average 6 hours with us when they're on site. That's a long time. So we've got to make sure we're programming everything outside of tennis, and they have great, plenty of things to do. They can watch tennis from anywhere they are while they're eating. All of those things.
Wow. And I wanted to ask you this earlier, Bob, but where are you getting most of your traffic as far as ticket sales and whatnot? Is it the app or your actual website?
Website.
Wow.
Definitely website.
Wow.
Yeah, the days of, coming into a ticket office and buying tickets are gone. The days of actually getting physical tickets are gone. Everything is done on the phone now. And we have to make sure we're messaging properly that, we got to make sure we're training people right. We got to make sure people are comfortable with that. So we make sure that when people come, we haven't done away with our ticket office. It's there. And when people have issues or problems, we want to make sure we're there to take care of them for them.
That's really, really amazing. And so what's your game plan to engage in constant evaluation of current investments, exercise physical responsibility, and explore those opportunities, Bob, that enables you to diversify your revenue streams?
Sure. I mean, we are constantly looking at all of our revenue streams. So we're constantly looking at everywhere we spend. I'm very blessed. Our team is very blessed to have an owner in the Navarro family that allows us to explore. Not only allows us to explore, but challenges us to explore. Mr. Navarro says to me all the time, he wants me to feel uncomfortable. So we want to make sure we're uncomfortable. But it gives us the ability, Quintin, to go and test certain things. I would say I come from a world working for a public company where we had to go sell it first before we actually did it. Now we can actually go do it, test it, see what the results are. And there, I can't ask for more than that. Being able to go do things that may not fit into our budget this year, but we're going to test. And you'll see a little bit of that on the interaction when you're here. But we're always measuring. But I would say it's not about measurement for Mr. Navarro. What it's about for Mr. Navarro is creating great experiences. And that's where he'll challenge me. I could walk in and say we did great financially, but if he didn't feel like people had a great time while they're here, then we're a failure. So we are constantly looking at how we make that experience better. And that's what drives us.
And when you look around the tennis world, Bob, what else is driving the Credit One Tournament Open right now?
Well, when I look at, listen, do I always want to add a men's component here? Yes. I think I wake up every day at least having that thought in my mind. It's just not an easy process. We currently own the Cincinnati Open as well, Quintin. So as soon as this is over, I moved to Cincinnati for a couple months. And that is one of the largest events in the world. It's got men and women. So our team is really getting that great experience on the men's side that we have on the women's side. So building those relationships within the ATP, building those relationships with the men, that's going to help us down the road. But we would love to be able to add a men's component to this event.
Oh, we're hoping for that to happen soon.
Yep.
Well, Bob Moran with the Credit One Tournament, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Quintin, so great to be here. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate everything you do in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.